The death of a pedestrian is a stark reminder about the dangers of railroad tracks in town.
And the local landmark is due for a facelift.
UNCP gets into the Halloween spirit.
Those stories and more coming up on Carolina News Today.
When traffic was snarled the other day by a train sitting at intersections along West 3rd Street in Pembroke, students and others complained about being late to class or unable to figure out a route home.
What they didn't realize was that it was a scene of a tragic accident that happened further up the road, at the corner of Vance and Railroad Streets. A Pembroke man was killed by a CSX train while trying to cross the tracks on foot.
According to a witness, lifelong resident of Pembroke, James B. Locklear Jr., had just come from getting a haircut at Russell's barbershop. Train staff saw him, blew the horn, and slammed on the brakes, but police say Locklear may have been hit by a handle or other protrusion from a passing train car. Witness and neighbor Lucky Barton said Locklear was thrown 10 feet. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Emergency responders parked in the middle of the road to block traffic. The track was cleared just after 5 p.m. The CSX media team said the October 22nd accident is a tragic reminder to steer clear of the tracks. This relatively slow-moving train took about 6 city blocks to stop. The National Safety Council says a freight train traveling 55 miles an hour needs about a mile to stop after applying the emergency brakes.
A local middle school celebrated Anti-Bullying Week with positive motivation on Unity Day. CNT reporter Jocelyn Taylor attended their pep rally.
Fairmont Middle School hoped to put a stop to bullying during Anti-Bullying Week with a celebration of Unity Day. 5th graders through 8th graders came to the school gymnasium to hear about the meaning of Unity Day. Guest speakers included Vontae Leach, Pauline Campbell, and fellow students. They delivered a motivational speech about personal experiences and strategies to how to deal with bullying. Superintendent Shanita Wooten was also at the event and gave an empowering word of encouragement to students. Wooten says prevention is key.
While we try to address it when it happens, we want to make sure that students know it's not tolerated. And when it does happen, we come in very quickly and we work with staff, the counselors, parents, students to get them to understand the severity of it. Even a small incident is big in our eyes, and we don't want any student to feel like they're uncomfortable coming to school, and we want everyone to feel respected and valued because everyone has something to contribute.
Shanita Wooten says that she is very big on anti-bullying throughout the public schools of Robeson County. She takes control as much as possible when she's out visiting the schools. Wooten also goes on to say that the staff at each school plays the biggest part in the student's life. Fairmont Middle School Counselor Elizabeth Elts is the most referred staff who is able to deal with bullying firsthand.
Students do feel safe. We don't have a lot of bullying. However, at any school in any community, they're all going to be bullies. So yes, we do have bullies, but the kids feel comfortable to come report it to myself. We have a student success advocate that students report bullying to. We have a social worker, and we also visible. And also we kind of have every spot covering. Bullying take place in bathrooms, so we have a staff member nearby. Courtyard, wherever bullying kind of take place at this school, we kind of have someone visible, so students will feel safe walking to different areas.
Local health organizations recently threw a big barn party to raise money to improve community health services. CNT's Brian Pittman says the event was a hit.
The 9th annual Boots and Barbecue presented by Health Keepers took place last weekend at the Southeastern North Carolina Agricultural Arena. The event included food, music, dancing, and a live mobile auction. Proceeds from the event went toward improving community health initiatives such as obesity, substance abuse, and mental health for Robeson County. The mobile auction was led by Southeastern Foundation board member Joe Williams.
You need to put your name on that board so everyone in this county knows that you support 3 things: the homeless, hungry people, and cancer patients. All right? So our goal here this evening is a lot of money. I'm not going to tell you what the goal is yet because I don't want you to think that you've reached that point and I'm going to shut up. So basically, I just need you to keep pulling your phones out and getting your names up. Thank you, Mr. Collier. So, Mr. Collier understands.
Some attendees took the time to capture a few memories by visiting the photo attraction. One couple we spoke with has attended the annual event since it started back in 2010.
We've both been to Boots and Barbecue every single time, and we're amazed at the amount of growth that this event has had. It's gone from very humble beginnings to now we're doing great, raising lots of money for our community and doing wonderful things.
Entertainment was provided by the up-and-coming country music performer Casey Tyndall and her band, who kept the crowd engaged throughout the evening with a variety of country and rock hits. As the event concluded, the 2019 rendition of Boots and Barbecue went in the books as a sold-out success, with the community putting their best foot forward. With Carolina News Today, I'm Brian Pittman.
A Lumberton landmark is getting a third facelift after almost 100 years of service to the community. CNT's Amber Lawrence has more on the upcoming renovations.
The Carolina Civic Center is a historic landmark located in the heart of downtown Lumberton. This theater opened its doors June 18th in 1928 and has served the city of Lumberton as the area's primary cultural arts center. According to Executive Director Richard Seiford, this center has gone through many lifetimes, with the first happening in 1975 and the second happening 10 years ago in 2009. This month, Lumberton City Council granted the Civic Center its third life by approving a permit for renovation. This week, the architect's rendering was made available for the public to see what's to come. The newly renovated theater will include an expanded lobby, concessions, special event space, storage, and a catering kitchen. Executive Director Seiford tells us more about the renovations.
The theater seats 450 people, and this lobby that we're standing in can basically accommodate 50. So you do the math with that, and you realize that we have these sold-out shows, and people are just crammed in here. It's hard to sell tickets. It's hard to sell concessions. It's not very comfortable. So we decided to add on a major space on the south side. So we're going to expand concessions in every way, including more things for people to purchase. But we're also going to have rental space, so people can hold weddings, conferences, family reunions, everything. It'll be available for rental. And it's about 9,000 square feet of additional space.
University professor, vice president of the Arts Council, and former intern at the Civic Center, James Bass, is featured in the Perfect to Use exhibition located in the Civic Center lobby. Bass says the upgrade to the theater can help invite more businesses to the area.
I think it's great. It's downtowns are so important. Small town downtowns are really important, and the arts can be such an anchor for those kinds of things. So having a place to come down for entertainment is great. Hopefully that will attract other businesses, and people want to have restaurants and bars, and who knows what else is going to be planned.
The Civic Center is said to have a groundbreaking by summer of 2020, which should be completed close to February of 2021. With Carolina News Today, I'm Amber Lawrence.
UNCP's Residence Hall Association brought the Brave Nation spirit to Murray, Kentucky for their annual regional conference. CNT reporter Antoine Johnson is an RA himself and filed this report.
The South Atlantic affiliate of College and University Residence Hall's Regional Leadership Conference was hosted by Murray State University this past weekend as resident student leaders cheered and showed plenty of spirit the first night of opening ceremony. Many students from the Southeast region ran around Rothard Auditorium with their flags yelling and showing spirit, as well as meeting other delegations by taking pictures and greeting each other. The theme for the conference was Racing into Leadership, and student leaders learned the three most important things that make a leader: knowledge, character, and dynamism. Regional Director of SACUR, Mariah Niebert, said that they chose the theme because they wanted residential leaders to gain skills in order to finish the race.
Racing into Leadership really is about the team that's supporting you and being able to recognize the race never ends and you're always learning, so there's always going to be the next step in your run you have to take.
On Saturday morning, students who are national communication coordinators and their delegations attended boardroom sessions to discuss legislation and also to vote on which institution that would like to host the next regional leadership conference. To close out the fun weekend, a banquet for the delegations was held Saturday night, where the student leaders continued to show spirit for the conference. UNCP RHA e-board members discussed some of their favorite things about the conference and what they have learned from it.
My favorite thing about this conference is going to all the educational programs and creative programs.
What I learned from this conference was to communicate more effectively within RHA and to also remind myself why I joined the organization to better advocate for the on-campus students.
My favorite thing that I learned from conference was how UNCP can better help our residents cope with their mental health.
From Carolina News Today, I'm Antoine Johnson.
RHA also got into the Halloween spirit this week with an evening of pumpkin carving. CNT reporter Brad Garola says students got creative while having fun.
Students at UNCP engaged in an evening of spooky fun as they carved and decorated pumpkins during an event held by RHA in the Village Community Building. Participants took pumpkins from this to this.
The outcome, it was definitely bigger than I expected, definitely bigger than any of the rest of RHA here at Village expected. And so this is just what Village does. If y'all feel like coming out, the next event, I mean, we ain't stopping y'all. I can come at any time.
As students showcased their artistic talents, members of RHA welcomed more participants than they originally thought were coming.
We didn't expect a lot of people to come up, but like over 40 people came out, and it was so amazing. It was so fun.
Community Director David Brown gives kudos to his RHA staff.
They weren't expecting to have a huge turnout, but they didn't have faith in themselves, and I'm extremely proud of them and proud of the program they created and the residents come out. A lot of residents who weren't expecting to come out came out, and I think it was an incredible event.
David Brown also speaks on how the residents felt about the event.
The residents definitely enjoyed the event. We had all 40 of our pumpkins we purchased carved. We had over 15 entries into the pumpkin carving contest, which I'm excited to see who wins. And overall, everyone was singing, dancing, eating pizza, and having a blast.
For Carolina News Today, I'm Bradley Garola.
The National Council of Negro Women hosted a fundraiser this week that lets students test their artistic abilities. CNT reporter Brittany Martin is a member of the group and tells us the event was a success.
The National Council of Negro Women, sitting pretty and painting Tuesday evening, did something different this year at the UC Annex. As they sipped their mocktails, they all came together to raise money for their organization. And Sister Destiny Chambers taught the class, not only how to paint a canvas, but also about self-care. With her passion of art, Destiny explains how her teaching experience went from a small crowd to a big one.
This event was pretty interesting. It was my first time actually teaching a big group how to do something, so I think it was pretty successful. I think it was fun, I think it was stress-free, and I think it was pretty enjoyable for everybody else as well.
By being an organization all about service, not only does NCNW plan to raise money to do more things on campus, their mission is to lead, advocate, and empower women of African descent, their families, and communities. By doing that, they continue to do whatever it takes to continue to give back to the community, collecting canned goods from anyone who participated in the event. President Nadika Ray tells me how much she enjoyed the turnout.
I kind of expected more people to be here, but I'm actually glad with the amount of people that we did have. It's always good to have an event, and no matter how many people come, if it's just 5 people, 6 people, 3 people, it's good to see that people come out and support your organization.
NCNW will continue to give back, host many other events, and donate the canned goods to the food pantries in Robinson County. For Carolina News Today, I'm Brittany Martin.
We've got an adorable feline from the Robinson County Humane Society to promote for Pet of the Week. He sports a name that derives from the day he brought himself to the shelter. Here's CNT's Korea Pickney.
Hi, I'm here with Marcus Locklear, the Assistant Director of the Robinson County Humane Society, and we're here to talk about a cat we've featured before. Marcus, tell us about this cat.
We're talking about Sunday. He's been with us a little over 2 years. He wandered up on a Sunday morning while we were doing feeding and cleaning during our hours. He's FIV, FELV negative. He has been neutered. Been hoping to get him adopted. He's been staying in there with our other baby. He's a great other companion to another cat. He seems to be just very, very docile. He's not a mean acting cat.
What type of home would Sunday be best for?
He would be best in a home with another animal, another cat, somebody to keep him, some kind of companion, somebody to play with. He would be great with someone just to cuddle him and love him. He's just a big old friendly boy. He'll be his adoption will be waived upon a good application. We would love for someone to come put in the application for him. Like I said, we have had him over 2 years. we would just love to try to get him a really, really good home.
For Carolina News Today, I'm Karia Pinckney.
Braves soccer continues their winning streak.
And Moonlight Madness takes over the Jones Center. Ty the Sports Guy has the deets when we come back.
What's going on, Brave Nation? Welcome back to CNT Sports. I'm Ty the Sports Guy. UNC football faced up against Tusculum University in an even matchup through all 4 quarters. It all came down to a field goal by Tusculum early in the fourth quarter that sealed the victory over the Braves 23-20. Tusculum's kicker Eli Shepard connected on all 3 field goal attempts, helping them seal the victory. Both of Tusculum's running back, Jordan Shippey and Thurlow Wilkins, ran for 100-plus yards to also contribute to their team's success. Braves quarterback Josh Jones completed 24 out of 36 attempts at passing for a total of 277 yards. Wide receiver Quay Threet finished the game with 12 receptions for a total of 118 yards. The UNCP women's soccer team took on Georgia Southwestern over the weekend during Military Appreciation Day. CNT reporter Jaimir Randolph has more.
The UNCP soccer team, coming off 3 straight victories following their win over Lander, looked to continue their hot streak against Georgia Southwestern. Both teams came out with the mindset that this was a game they had to win, and that was shown by the aggressiveness on the field. The teams seemed to have their offense going well despite not converting on some of their good looks early on. The Peach Belt is one of the best Division II conferences in the league, so it is well expected for the teams to go all out. Coach Lars Anderson has been in the league for 19 years and knew coming in that getting that 4th straight win wasn't going to be easy. Anderson acknowledges that this wasn't the prettiest win they picked up.
Georgia Southwestern were well prepared. They sat in a little bit, and that makes it tough to score. And we missed some early opportunities that maybe could have changed the outlook of the game if we'd scored early.
UNCP goalkeeper Gina Ryan kept the opposing team from scoring with a save in each period. It was well apparent that this was going to be a battle of which team was going to score first. But who would be the unlikely hero to give UNCP their only goal of the game? Sophomore Maya Grimes, providing valuable minutes off the bench, would be that person to give the team their game-winning goal.
I felt like the team really needed it. I felt like I needed to come off the bench and make an impact on the game. With it being my first goal of the season, I just felt really excited for it, and I was happy for the team win.
The Braves women's soccer team improved their record to 11-3 on the season with this 4th straight consecutive win, and brings them to 6-2 in the conference.
The team's success can be attributed in part to a couple of seniors on the team. It's no wonder this defender and this goalie work well together. They're twin sisters, Katie and Gina Ryan, but CNT reporter Samantha DeBusk tells us they excel on the pitch and in the classroom.
Teammates, roommates, scholar athletes, and their twins. Katie and Gina Ryan do almost everything together on and off the field. The twins have been playing soccer since they were 4 years old and knew UNC Pembroke was the perfect place for them to continue playing together. They balance their academics with their busy athletic lives and each have a GPA above 3.5. Not only are they senior co-captains and starters for the UNCP women's soccer team, but they are members of the UNCP Manor Honors College. The twins enjoy hanging out with friends, playing video games, and expressing their artistic talents. Katie is currently a chemistry major with a concentration in pre-pharmacy. She could tell her hard work paid off when she got into her dream pharmacy school.
Getting into pharmacy school is a big step. I applied to Chapel Hill kind of just to see where it would go. I really didn't expect to get in there, but you just give it a shot. And then when I got my acceptance, I was super excited, and I couldn't be happier with that. They're one of the top pharmacy schools in the United States, so I'm excited to start there in the fall.
While Katie is studying science, her twin Gina is in the UNCP accounting program. She hopes to work with auditing or insurance in the future after getting her master's. During her 4 years of college, she has received the Peach Belt Conference Goalie of the Week award 8 times and holds the PBC record for the most shutout games. This past weekend marked her 33rd career shutout game.
It's just a huge honor to be able to be recognized at one of the top Division II conferences as holding a conference record, and it just kind of just honored all the hard work that we've put in as a team, not only myself, because it's a team effort to be able to get shutouts. It starts from furthest player from the goal all the way to in the goal.
Katie and Gina will play their final home game in the UNC Pembroke uniform tomorrow against Georgia College. They suspect their senior day will be bittersweet. For Carolina News Today, I'm Samantha DeBusk.
Cross country raced on home turf, and I was able to cover the event along with the help of Michael Liddy's drone footage. Over the weekend, men's and women's cross country hosted their first PBC championship race at Luther Britt Park. The women ran a 5K, which is about 3 miles, and the men ran an 8K, which is about 5 miles long. For the men's side, UNCP was able to have the top 2 finishes with Silas Kipkowicz in second place, and in first, beating a 17-year-old record by 18 seconds on his way to his second straight Peach Belt Conference individual title. Joshua Chepkesser came away with the individual victory, leading the men to a third-place finish overall. When talking with him after his race, he says he's looking forward to regionals and nationals this year.
Yeah, so right now I'm targeting now to go to the regionals to defend my title because last year I won the regionals. And then the big thing I'm now targeting to go to the nationals because the nationals I missed last year because of injury. But this time around I'm trying to train easy to make sure that I didn't get any injury to go for the nationals. Yeah.
For the women's side, Skylar Marino finished 12th and ranked in all conference laurels with top 15 showings, along with Ermin Chapleting, who finished 3rd in the individuals, leading the Braves to a 5th place finish. Chapleting registered the 4th fastest 5K time in the history of the women's program here at UNCP. We also caught up with head coach Peter Ormsby to get his view of how the women will perform this year.
Going forward, we knew I've challenged the girls the past 3 weeks to a month, and now we're starting to see the benefit of it. We just had a couple mishaps. Riley Axe kind of stepped on a rock wrong at a training run, which kind of hampered her efforts on last Saturday. And I believe Valerie kind of twisted her ankle going around a corner on Saturday. So, you put 2 healthy people like that in, we're definitely probably a 3rd place team, maybe a 7th place team at the region meet, but, anything can happen on any given day based on sicknesses and illnesses and stuff like that. But I think we're heading in the right direction with the women's team. I know they're excited, and it's probably the most excited I've seen them for a conference championship. And to do it at home where they knew the in and outs of the course definitely was in a favor for them.
The men's and women's basketball teams opened the start of the season with a big treat for the fans. CNT reporter Tyshawn Carter was there for the Moonlight Madness.
UNCP basketball team started their season out with a lot of excitement last Thursday. Alumni and students all gathered together and watched the Braves put on a show at Moonlight Madness. Despite not having the season they would like to have last year, the men and women's teams start off with each other getting an introduction for the fans and family. The first event kicked off with a 3-point shootout and was followed by the men's dunk contest as they showed off some super athleticism while the judges was giving score for each dunk. Then they got into the main event, the inter-squad black and gold scrimmage. And the men went out first and had a good preview of what's in store for us this season.
Well, we're blessed to have a veteran team. We have, 6 seniors, which is really unusual. So having that kind of leadership is really helpful. And then we've got some great juniors. And the new guys have really blended it well, been very competitive. And so our practices have been tremendous. So I think that competition and practice really helps prepare you for the season.
Not just to talk about the men's program, the women also gave us a good preview on how the team is looking going into the season and is planning on having a good year.
Well, I think we're improved. Part of that formula is getting Deja McCain healthy. She's coming off the Achilles tear last year, and she was coming back. She was cleared. She was doing some live half-court action. We did add Diamond Frederick inside, who gives us some length and can run the floor. Fairly mobile kid. So she's coming along. She just hadn't played basketball. And, she took last year off and redshirted with us the second semester. So she's coming along and getting better. And so I think that will help us inside. And then I think our perimeters have improved.
Braves golf traveled to Georgia this weekend to compete in the Jekyll O'Lantern Intercollegiate. In their first appearance at this tournament, the team finished 6th out of 16 teams. Senior Casey Burrows led the team at 8 over par for the event. This tournament closed out their fall season, and they'll be back in action in February. Volleyball matched up against Chowan in what was a last-set thriller to complete the season sweep. The Braves got 8 or more kills from 3 different players and bounced back from a 7-point deficit in the third set to finish off a straight set sweep of Chowan. Volleyball's record now increases to 13-15 as they get ready to face off against USC Aiken this weekend. And that's all the sports updates I have for you this week. Until next time, I'm Ty the Sports Guy. Emmy, Abigail, back to you.
As we wrap up, let's remind everybody that Sunday's the day to turn your clocks back.
If you still even have a clock these days, right? We'll be back next week
with another episode of Carolina News Today. See you then.